because I too am a Black queen, just like all of you. Now you understand why during this unique month, the love month, as we call it, we who are princesses and queens of the African diaspora, we're going to discuss an essential topic that impacts our spirit, impacts our soul, and it impacts our body. So we're going to begin this conversation by breaking down the terminology love from the heart, but not just from the generic lens. And you know me, I'm not going to do it generically, but I'm going to do it from a special acronym that comes from the word heart. H meaning health, E, emotions, A, attitude, R, relations, T, time. I'm going to repeat that. Heart, H, health, E, emotions, A, attitude, R, relations and relationships, T, time. We're going to take it one letter at a time. Remember, this is the teachable moments now. One letter at a time. With that first letter, H, which is for health. And for this conversation, we're going to say that what? Our health is going to be synonymous with self-care. So how often do we find ourselves? We spend so much time taking care of everybody else. We're nurturing, we're encouraging, we're cultivating everybody else. We just don't have enough time to develop, to support, cherish, or even to encourage ourselves. And if we did, guess what? We would probably criticize the time that we did spend on ourselves. And we would say, you're being selfish. You're being greedy. You're being egotistical. You're being self-regarding. But no, you're not. We have to learn how to take time for ourselves. And I'm looking at your faces. Yep, I'm scrolling through. I see you, Eula. It seems like that I'm not the only one that's guilty of just not spending enough time or any amount of critical, precious, significant, essential, or crucial time on me. I know I'm guilty of that, but now I'll do the rudimentary tasks, now such as what? Yeah, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna do a little bit of exercise. I ain't gonna do a whole lot, y'all know that, okay? But if I were to devote an entire day, just an entire day, or maybe just half a day to me, but oh no, we know that ain't gonna happen. But I'll give each of you and I'll give others as much time as they need. So again, I'm gonna ask, how much time do you give yourself? As Chris Rock would say, oh, we know that ain't right. We have to learn. We have to learn this, that we are just as important as anyone else. And that it's not selfish for us. You're not being selfish if you devote your special time to just you. And I'm not talking about that we have to push our bodies so far that we can't move anymore. That's not really self-love. That's self-hate. And I know I've been guilty of that. I have pushed myself so much that my body just says enough is enough. And how many of you have done that? That's not self-love. Now, see, I don't really know about each of you, but I have to be educated on just me. I have to learn, I have to understand what it means to have a relationship with me. For right now, I'm gonna put a pin in that topic. We're gonna chat about that more just a little bit later when we discuss the letter R and what we're talking about when we say relationships. Let's go on to our second letter. Our second letter is E, and that stands for what? Emotions. And so for this fireside chat, for today only, we're going to say that our emotions will be defined as our inner feelings and our thoughts, but it's still going to be wrapped around that blanket of what? Love from the heart. Inner feelings and thoughts. What are you feeling and thinking right now? Don't answer me, answer yourself. What are you thinking? What are you feeling right this moment? Are your feelings and your thoughts focusing on these questions? Are you sensitive? Do you or can you control your emotions? And if so, do you do that well? Are your emotions a problem? Can you give an example of a crime of passion? Are you generally a positive person or a negative person? Do you find it easy to explain your feelings to another person? And what makes you just feel, oh, so good? Not who, what makes you feel, oh, so good? Let's go on to our third letter. Our third letter is A. That's our attitude. And the attitude will be described as what? As your demeanor or your behavior. What behavior are you displaying? Or what behavior had you displayed today? Was it positive or was it negative? Do you honestly agree that your beliefs determine your values and that your values establish your attitude and that your attitude will define your behavior? Do you genuinely have the opinion that your mindset is ordered or arranged by both your attitude and your behavior? Let me say that again, that your mindset is ordered or it's arranged by both your attitude and your behavior. What about the premise that what we are, we cannot change, but what we do, we can change? I'm gonna say that again. What we are, who we are, we can't change. But what we can change is what? What we do. Now, is this a premise, a principle, or a thought that you have supported, or you do support, or you do believe in, you do promote, you do espouse? Think about it. This is going to be, again, a chat. And sometimes the chat is only going to be with you. That doesn't make, they say, oh, she's talking to herself. No, you're not. You're having a relationship with you. Now, there I go again. See, I'm interfering. And that's when we might say, ooh, she's stepping on my toes. All up in my Kool-Aid, don't even know what flavor it is. That's what I do. Y'all know that. Those of you who know me, that's what I do. Let's move on to our fourth letter. Fourth letter is R. And that R stands for what? Relationships. It's also considered what? Our interpersonal interactions. Now, I touched on this just a few seconds ago when I indicated, or when I stated, that you understand or comprehend that you should not be relying on others to make you happy. If you feel good about yourself, but how often do we do that? He or she didn't make me happy. That's not their job. That's not their role. Your interpersonal reaction or interaction with others, that involves how do you exchange information? How do you interact with others? What are your feelings? What do you mean by your verbal as well as your nonverbal messages that you're sending out? Now, between you and another person, or between you and several other persons, see, all these questions may start just arising in you or in your head, and that's okay. Who would you consider that you have a real relationship with? For example, is that your spouse, your significant other, a family member, a friend, a co-worker, a member of a shared organization? And if so, if you have that real relationship, how would you describe that relationship? How would the other person or persons describe that relationship? And I saw in the chat room that I think it was Ruth said her relationship is with God. With God. Now, I hope you see that you, Y-O-U, you're not the spotlight of that relationship. In other words, The center or the focus of a relationship is your exchange or your interaction between you and the other person. It's not on you. It ain't about you. It's about you and the other person, how you interact, how you relate to each other, how you connect to each other. And it may be more than one person. It's your mood, your frame of mind, your temperament. You know you better than anybody else. You know how you're responding to other people. Let's move on. Our fifth and our last letter is T. And we know that the T in this case for tonight is going to designate what? Time. This is where and when you begin to ask those questions. Who gets my time? Who deserves my time? What is done with my time? You might even ask yourself, am I wasting my time? See, time is valuable. Most of us, we ain't got no money. All we got is what? Time. But only if you value it by assessing time, does it become valuable. You have to value it. And you have to assess it by looking at what is its importance in your life? What is its relevance in your life? What is its significance in your life? If not, then guess what? Time is just going to be another commodity. Again, I want to say, how many of you have even seen a sunrise? Okay. I want you to promise yourself that this month, before the month is over, you're going to witness a sunrise. Now, I also want you to witness a sunset. They're totally different, but they too are what? Examples of God's presence. And that's what happens with people in our lives. You have some who come in, they're there forever. You have some who come in, they're gone within a week or two. The sunrise and the sunset may not always be at the same time. And it's okay. It is okay to do that. So promise me and promise you, don't promise me. Promise yourself that before March, let's give ourselves to the end of March, okay? Because I know this month is almost over. Before the end of March, you're going to personally witness a sunrise and a sunset. And most of us don't. Just promise that you're going to do that before March, on or before March 31st.
Can you speak about seasons? Mm-hmm. Some people won't be in our lives forever. Some will need to be let go in order for us to reclaim our time. Can you speak on that, Dr. Walker?
I can and I will. And I'm stopping purposely because one of the things that we don't ever breathe. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you just took a deep breath? And I want you to think about the people in your life who are toxic. But we keep going by. We keep going back. Why? You know they're poisonous to us. You know they don't bring you goodness, but we just keep going like we're going to fix something. We can't fix anything. So there are seasons, just like there are the 4 seasons in terms of, winter, spring, summer, and fall. You have winter, spring, summer, fall people in your life. There are some people that are only for winter. There's some people that are only for fall, only for summer, only for spring. And then there are those who are for all 4 of our seasons. You have to decide which one are you? Not only which one are you, which one are the people that you're with? If it's springtime and you keep going back to the same winter people, but they don't want to be bothered because they're winter people. That's how I view seasons. And I've had to learn to remove myself from some situations that are toxic for me because I kept trying to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make it right. Who am I? I can't even make me right. How am I gonna make the relationship right? I had to let them go. I had to say, I've done all I can do. You know that song? You've done all that you can, you just stand. Well, I have stood on some people and I said, look here, I got to let you go. Doesn't mean that I'm letting them go, okay? But I understood that they were not bringing me goodness into my life. And I love me more, too much, so much, that I had to say, you need to go. So that's, to me, is what I talk about, the seasons, okay? Thank you. Thank you for the question.